So this is the second of the Discover DeKalb signature series. The first one was a couple of months ago that we did on events, economic impact, and quality of life. This one we came out with was film tourism in DeKalb, because as everyone knows, film is huge in the state of Georgia, huge in DeKalb. And we have a couple VIP guests in the film industry we're going to be introducing. So that will be a little bit long, a little bit into the show. But I want to welcome Dan Rosenfeld. He is the co-owner of DeKalb Studios. And instead of me telling you about this wonderful place, I'm going to let him do it. And Dan is also going to be on a panel that is going to be up here. So we're very excited. Dan agreed to this very quickly. We caught him, I think, when he was in New York and agreed to this. So we're excited to be here, and we're excited to have Dan tell you about this amazing place. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you. That does sound like me. Sorry, I'm looking at my bio. That's pretty good. I didn't know I did that. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dan Rosenfeld, co-founder of DeKalb Studios. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We're really excited to see everyone, to have you here. I'm not going to speak too long because it'll be boring, and I've never woken up refreshed a day in my life. But I want to say that we're really proud of what we've built here. Our co-founder, Michael Hahn, is somewhere here in the back, so there he is. And Mike. And our staff here is incredible. They've been wonderful today. I have some great interns here that have been with us for a few weeks, and we love doing a huge internship program. So DeKalb is a purpose-built film production studio, and we are proud to say we're the most sustainable, greenest film studio on earth. Sustainability, thank you. It's really important to us that we, can do something positive with the studio. Obviously, we love film and TV, and it's a passion of ours. But also, we think there's a big halo effect that occurs with the film and TV industry being so strong in Georgia. When you put a film studio into a county, you can either kind of tuck away and be quiet, like our production clients like to have their anonymity and privacy, or you can also, as a studio, use it to benefit the community. For us, our kind of three pillars are quality, community, and sustainability. And it's really important that we figure out ways to connect with the community, whether it's events like this, or working with local hotels with our productions, or finding locations nearby with people's homes and businesses. The list goes on. And we're really, we love to use the positivity about film and TV to generate interest in the region. I moved to Atlanta from LA 8 years ago now. Michael and I opened Third Rail Studios, our previous studio in 2016 in DeKalb County. We love being in DeKalb County here. I live in DeKalb as well. I moved to Georgia sight unseen from California, having never been here a day in my life. And we're just, really proud to be in this county. I am excited to talk about how the film industry works with regard to tourism. Later, I grew up in Philadelphia. I got to say that, yeah, Billy. And I got to say that family and friends who would come in from out of town to visit us, the first thing they always wanted to do was go to the Philadelphia Art Museum steps and run up them like Rocky. Every single time, that was like number one on the list. Like Liberty Bell, Betsy Ross, no. It was run up the Rocky steps. So, I think that's the kind of thing that we're going to be talking about today. How even something as simple as that, it was required viewing growing up, all the Rocky movies, growing up with Billy. Something as simple as that even now, 45 years later, I don't even know. can generate interest and have people want to recreate a scene from a movie that was filmed so long ago. So I'm gonna stop talking, and I'm gonna say once again from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. I hope it's an enjoyable event for everyone, and appreciate you. Thanks.
Okay. Make sure everybody's scanned in and filled it out. So, next up, I have the great pleasure of introducing my chairman of the board, Brian Mock. He is also chair of Sports DeKalb. He is also general manager of the Hampton Inn Atlanta Northlake Hotel. He is also the mayor of the city of Chamblee. So, everybody lives in Chamblee. There we go. And I'm always searching for more things for him to do because he doesn't have enough to do. But he is a tremendous supporter of tourism from being a hotelier. He is a tremendous supporter of tourism from being a mayor, from being a friend. So we are very excited to have him come up and talk for the next hour. No, sorry. Welcome, Brian Mock. By the way, Miss Miller.
Y'all are too much. I really don't. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Glad to see y'all survive the great debate last night. Too soon, too soon. All right. Well, I am glad to see such a great crowd of amazing people here to talk about buying a timeshare this morning. Close the gate, close the gate. I did want to. In case anybody needs to slide out, just to make sure everybody knows, I was told to make sure everybody knows, there are no auditions going on this morning for extra parts in movies. Brad Pitt is not going to show up unexpectedly. So if you're not here to hear about the great things of film industry going on in the state of Georgia, if you need to sneak out, we won't look. But let me say this, Sweet Home Alabama, first of all, I love that song. I was born and raised in Alabama, and in my town there were two types of families. There were the haves and the have-nots, and I was born into the have-nots. And at 13, my parents started having a discussion with me about going into the workforce. Now remember, I'm old. At 14 in Alabama, you could get a job for 15 or 20 hours a week as long as the school signed off on it every month or so that you were keeping your grades up. So you could work about 20 hours a week, and that's what I did. And my first, at 14, my first job was at a motel. They hired me to clean rooms, take out trash, and a lot of plunging toilets. And, 35 years later, I'm still in the hotel business. Even though my title has changed and I have the honor of being chairman of Discover DeKalb and all these great things, I still find myself cleaning rooms and plunging toilets and doing all the same things that I used to do. That's because I love it. I love the hospitality industry. I love the hotel business, and I love what I do. And what does all this have to do with film? For me, it's all about economic impact. I love my home state, but I left for better opportunity. And I found that here in the metro Atlanta area. You want to see a happy hotelier? See a happy mayor? Is start filming in their community. Bring in some movie industry folks and start filming. The hotels fill up. The restaurants fill up. The entertainment venues fill up, the gas stations, the stores. Everything is busy because every local business is positively impacted when you bring in tourism and film and movies. There's no downside to it. There's no downside to it. And not to steal anybody's thunder, because you're going to hear from a great group of individuals this morning, but it's staggering to hear that the film industry brings billions, not millions, but billions of dollars to the local economy. And that's not to mention the tens of thousands of jobs that they bring. And it's not about the actors and actresses and all of this stuff. We're talking about carpenters and laborers and electricians and all that it takes to put a set together and to make movies. And so the local economy thrives on this industry. So bottom line, and no pun intended on that, because businesses were constantly watching our bottom line, but the film industry creates widespread economic impact for the state, and the industry is lucky to have them. And we've got the right tax incentives, so we don't need to be messing with tax incentives. And we've got some amazing facilities. You're in one this morning, and we've got some great local talent, and we've got the best weather too. So we've got a lot going for us. So I'm looking forward to hearing from our great speakers this morning. Before I sit down, I did see a couple of elected leaders in the room, the former electeds. If you would stand up and be recognized, if you're an elected official this morning. I know I saw a couple of people here earlier. I don't know if they had to slide up. I see a couple here. And also, we couldn't do this by ourselves. Our Discovery DeKalb Board of Directors works extremely hard to do these type things. So if you serve on the Board of Directors of Discovery DeKalb, if you'll stand up for me. Thank you all for all you do as well. And now it is my honor to welcome a very special, newly elected with us this morning, and she needs no introduction. But Lorraine Cochran Johnson recently won her election to become DeKalb's CEO. I know we all know she's going to do a tremendous job because it's in her heart. DeKalb lives in her heart, and she's going to be an amazing CEO for this county. And so it's my honor and my pleasure to welcome my good friend and fellow Alabamian to the stage, Lorraine Cochran Johnson.
Georgia. The whole day long.
Good morning, everyone. Let me say that, it's an honor first to be introduced by not only the chairman, but also our mayor, Mayor Mock, because he and I, we work closely together. But also as it relates to Dan and Michael, I can remember when back in 2019, I was newly elected, and they came to my office with the vision of where you're sitting right now. And at that time, they hadn't been successful with getting appointments with commissioners and moving the project forward. But, being who I am, I've lived a few lives. Women are like cats. Depends on which chapter you catch us. So for those of you who may not know, I spent about 20 years, 2 decades in mass communications and media. Started at Creative Loafing newspaper, spent over 12 years there. Media, then left, went to Real Times Media, became, for several years, they just called me the new Alexis Scott when I took over the Atlanta Daily World. And then, of course, when newspapers started to hemorrhage money, I became active in film and television. So if it sits still, I shoot it. If it moves, I produce it. If you can read it, I write it. That's what I did. So fortunate for them, I understood the vision. And I can remember saying, well, you know, fellow commissioners don't. You need to take this, you need to go back, you need to come back with a plan, because they had this noble idea of an all-green film production studio. And it was probably about 3 or 4 months later, they showed up with actual blueprints. And I said, now I can get you through the door. Because, you know, somewhere between, for those of you who are Bible-based, Genesis and Revelations, you know, you have to write the vision and make it plain. And never forget that. So thereafter, things began to move really quickly. And today you sit in the manifestation of what was initially a noble idea. And across DeKalb County, I'm happy to say that we have really become a true powerhouse in film and television. Whether you're talking having the only all-green studio, which you're in right now, to the assembly and third rail, where they actually got their beginning, to also Shadowbox. We have the 3 largest film production studios in the state right here in DeKalb County, Georgia. I want to acknowledge Shelvia because I know she's our camera ready liaison, and for those of you who are here today, I'm really excited because there's a wealth of opportunity, because film produced in 2023 $4.1 billion, but that does not include the wraparound services that are associated with film and television. So there is an enormous opportunity for everyone that's sitting in this room. Now, you know, I keep things plain. It's GEO, the Georgia Entertainment Industry Investment Act, that literally brought the money to Georgia, that has resulted in us rivaling California to be the #1 film production hub in the United States. So I'm happy to announce today, Georgia's known for more than peaches and Coca-Cola. We're known for film. So as your CEO-elect, I look forward to continuing to develop the industry. For those of you who have locations, we have, being camera ready is really important. You know, visit the GPP, Georgia Production Partnership website. Yes, see, I know this stuff, it's just up there. Register your homes, register your businesses as potential locations, because there's a tremendous amount of opportunity for revenue generation here, and I'm just excited to see the future and to facilitate additional investments in our community that honestly is transformative. So to Michael and Dan, thank you for what you've done here. I look forward to continuing to support you, and I look forward to you guys learning a lot today. Thank you so much.
Well, I want to thank Madam CEO-elect for being here and sharing. She's got a meeting before this, she's got a meeting right after this, so she has to run. Next up, I'm going to bring Craig Miller, Craig Miller Productions, and I'll actually tell you about him in a few minutes. But he has a special guest here with us today, and we're going to let him introduce her.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Good morning, newly elected Chairman, Ms. Johnson. Thank you for coming today. We really appreciate it. We wanted to take just a moment to sort of properly honor one of the real cornerstones of film industry here in Georgia. This person is an Atlantan. She went to Marist High School. She went to University of Georgia. She went away for a minute. She had a moment where she got a little lost and went off to school in New York. But she came back in '96 and started working locations as a project manager for the Georgia Department of Economic Development's Film Office. Today, she is the rock that holds the film industry together in Georgia. In 2019, she was selected as Georgian of the Year by Georgia Trend Magazine. And she has worked with so many different governors and really solidified what the film industry means to Georgia and how it will move forward in the future. So we have the opportunity for Lee to make a comment if she'd like, but what I really want is a rousing round of applause for Lee Thomas, the Deputy Commissioner of the Georgia Film Commission.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Craig, so much. And this is very exciting. And you know, back when I came up, you had to go to New York or LA. I went to New York. Scott goes off went to LA, but now everybody can do everything right here. And so that's really what this is all about. When I first started in the film office, I know Craig Miller. He has been doing this a long time. He had a commercial. I think it was a lemonade commercial. And he needed extras, and so I was volunteered immediately. So if you look back at your old reels, you'll see me as a very poor actress in the back of one of those reels. So y'all have a great day ahead of you. Congratulations for deciding DeKalb and getting all these people out here. This is a great crowd, and Electric Al for hosting it. I appreciate it. So enjoy yourself. This is exciting. Thank you.
I had a great transition straight into facility. So we had a location scout with us, but I'm going to start with how she got started in business. Katie Moorcraft is a location scout for a extremely popular Georgia film, Georgia Days, Georgia Stories, Georgia Concepts, and we'll tell you that in a second. But Katie began her career in 2015 as a seamstress on the show Sailor. Everybody watch Sailor? You people? I asked her about the fall wedding Sailor that she visited clothes. So, and then she became a PA location assistant with Virgo Katie for Atlanta. She's done some great TV films, TV shows, Ringleaf, which was a lot based in Sunrise. Okay, some people found me. Kevin Farley's Next World. Missing that? I used to watch that, and I love that, I get it wrong. And then The Walking Dead. Oh, come on. I just watched it recently, and I'm fine here. So, the big thing that we have with her coming up, she's going to talk about location management, and this is really important for everybody in the room, because this is where we can do things. So she is the location manager for the popular hidden show over. But we'd like to welcome Katie Moorcraft.
So first I'm going to start with Ryan, and we are honored to be here, to be included in such an event like this is something that is kind of beyond my wildest dreams right now, so please bear with me. I may stutter for a second or get some red cheeks. Again, such an honor to be here, and with everybody that put this together, from the people parking, to the shuttle drivers bringing us over here, the food, the chairs and tables, everything does not go unnoticed, and is such a great example as to what putting on a production entails and how many entities are truly used. So again, just thankful and honored to be here with everybody. I'm also really excited to talk about the future of filming in Georgia and kind of the production perspective side. Let's bridge it with our senators, our cities, our states, and there's no need to keep anything secret. Let's be friends and see what you need. I'm gonna tell you what I need, and we're gonna make it work. Because as this video just beautifully showed, and all the gentlemen before me have said, film industry does nothing but positively impact from your gas stations to your hotels to your restaurants. to everything else, you know, when you're bringing a group of 200 people in for 3 to 5 for a movie, something.
So I'm gonna do that with 5 things, and as we go through this today, I want you to think about these 5 things. The first thing is that tourism is still economic development. Tourism is economic development for Georgia. Tourism is economic development for DeKalb. That will never change. I call myself, my colleagues don't like it, I'm an economic developer who specializes in tourism. But some things are changing, and tourism changes, and the consumer taste changes. Is that the second takeaway? The first was tourism is economic development. The second is that we're seeing the rise of what we call the experience economy. So what's this experience economy, and what does it mean to tourism, and what does it mean to DeKalb? That means that when we talk about discover DeKalb, that's a process. And we want them to discover DeKalb over and over and over and over. Stretch those blue nights and get people to spend money. I come back once a month. I can't stay out of Atlanta. And what do I like about it here? Well, you can tell that I'm a foodie tourist. I've never said no to barbecue. So food's an experience. Film's an experience. Fun's an experience. But what's the payoff? I tell my students this. You can say we have mountains, we have beaches, we have this, we have that. Those are assets. What I want to know is what type of experience. Give me memory. Give me nostalgia. Give me romance. Give me passion. Even some of these thrillers, these films that we're talking about, the cliffhangers, a little mystery. That's what makes people into being tourists and coming back. So when we talk you're right on it with film tourism, because that's marketing. That's the future of marketing. So you were very forward in having this group together. Number 3. So we're going to invest in technology. We're going to invest in infrastructure. We're not going to let social media scare us. We're going to stick right out in front of it and use it. We're going to take the films. We know that my students said, did you do your homework last night? They said, yeah, I went to TikTok. They went and got their information about destinations from Instagram and TikTok. They didn't go to Wikipedia. Or like I did, I went to the encyclopedia. So, number 3 is let's invest in this technology infrastructure. Of course, I'm going to say that being a Georgia Tech guy. But there's something that's more important and powerful in technology. Number 4, let's invest in people. This is the creative class. This is everybody out there who has these creative abilities can take part in film tourism, and we need you. We need you to get excited and promote it, but we also need you to work as we develop more and more studios. One of my degrees is in urban planning. I love the historic preservation is also part of the story. Take these buildings that used to do textiles and manufacturing and you turn them into the future. So this is a lot of their people with interesting talents and abilities can play a part in this. No matter where you're from, what age you are, you can be a part of film tourism. The last one, number 5, is that quality of life. I could say that our brand is film, food, and fun, but that's kind of misleading. Really what our brand is Southern hospitality. Like the Southern hospitality that we're having here today. And people around the United States will always come for that, and that's not going to change. I want to thank you all for coming. Have a great discussion. Ask great questions. Don't hold back. Ask hard questions. And we're going to work through this together. Thank you.
All right. Next up, going to introduce to be on our panel is Randy Davidson. That's St. Martin's. Randy is the president and no, the CEO and founder. He just changed his job like about 2 months. CEO and founder of Georgia Entertainment. And what's really cool about his organization is film, entertainment, esports, all creative class. And he, on your table, has the wonderful book, Creative Industries. And it's wonderful because he was nice enough to put me in it, as well as the top 200. But he's got quite a few other people in the room in it. So he's got that. He is going to come up, and he brings experience from also being collaborative and brings entertainment industry landscape and discusses those. He has road shows around the state. He has big events throughout the state. He is now going all over the world. Sundance. The world is going to do something up in Montreal soon. He just took Georgia to the Cannes Festival in France. And I can't remember where else he's going, so we'll probably talk about it in his panel. So, I would like to welcome to take a seat on the stage, Randy Davidson. Make sure we have the agenda there. Next up is Shelby Jackson. She is DeKalb Entertainment Commission, also part of this tied DeKalb, Economic Development or Development Authority. Shelby comes with over 300, worked with over 300 film credits, including I, Tonya, Stranger Things, and Ozark. Everybody has to remember Ozark. Shelby's experience and dedication has positioned DeKalb County as a premier destination for filming entertainment. We have the great pleasure of working regularly with Shelby and with Laura, Simran back on marketing for the Development Authority. So I'd like to welcome up to the stage, Shelby Jackson. All right, we're almost ready to start again. I'd like to welcome this time officially Mr. Craig Miller, Craig Miller Productions. And Craig and I met when I first moved to DeKalb about 13 years ago. And anybody who knows me knows I can't remember names like this. Okay, now we are ready to. Oh, I already introduced him, so sorry about that. So now we are ready. Seriously. So this is an opportunity for these experts up here to talk about activities. Before, and I have audience questions that you have been nice enough to send to us. But before we get to that, and there will be a time for you all to ask your questions. But before we get kicked off, we wanted to start with the panel. Do you all have any hot burning things you want to bring up as we start really the panel discussion?
Hello. I think we should do at least another hour of introductions.
There we go. We can do that.
That's all I got.
So I've got some big news. We recently produced a movie. It's called The Neon Highway, and it had a limited theatrical release across the United States. Stars Bo Bridges and Lee Brice. got picked up by Netflix. Yes. So need everybody in the room on July 11th to watch Netflix and vote Bridges and Leave Rights and enjoy the movie that we shot here in Georgia. We actually shot in Harris County and in Columbus, Georgia. It's a fabulous, good feeling, heartwarming film, and I hope you enjoy it.
Thanks a lot, really, I'm glad you liked it. Shelby, any big news from DeKalb?
My office is excited about the fact that there's a tentative agreement.
You're here.
That means the slowdown that we were expecting because of the potential strike can hopefully be averted, and production will pick up like it has over the last few years. And that $4 billion that we average every year in economic impacts of the state of Georgia will continue. And people will go back to work. So we're excited about that.
So we can go ahead and jump in unless Randy or Rich has anything, or Katie? Casey, Katie, here she is.
So, we asked you all for some questions. You can tell we had some hotels signing up. So some of these are directly pertaining to hotels. So the very first one is, how can hotels penetrate the film industry support production crews needing to stay at their hotels?
I can start with that. I think just having your reaching out to studios, reaching out to obviously the film commission, both the state level and the DeKalb Entertainment Commission, putting yourself out there is a great first step, and maybe even providing some tours to the studios. I know some local hotels have reached out to me, and I always appreciate that, to just know what's around us. When production is here, they put up, a nice amount of crew members. There are a big percentage that's local, but still they need a bunch of rooms, and finding, good rates, I think good kind of, nightly rates for the crews is important. Showing them to events like this is always great, and yeah. Maybe that's obvious, but I'd say just kind of coming to us and, letting us know you're there, and showing us around the event is great.
I think a good plus, how many hotel people do we have in the room? So a number of people. You need to get to know people like Katie Morgan. Katie's a locations person. She's going to be looking for places to put her crews. She wants proximity to the stage or to the locations, and she wants it to be welcoming and pleasant. It always helps us if you have a laundry or dryer and washer in the room. It also helps get a little kitchen, because crews work very strange hours, and all of a sudden they'll show up at 3 o'clock in the morning and need to do their wash. And having a practical way of making that happen is a big plus. And like I said, I don't know that there are hundreds, but I would at least say that there are 20 excellent location managers here in town. You can look them up on the source book, which is Lee Thomas's publication and digital publication that lists a lot of these folks. You can talk to studio owners and managers and get that information. Get to know the industry. It's the way to make that happen.
Well, let me say, if you have a property or business that you would like to promote to the industry, just go to DeKalbEntertainment.com and input your location in our local database. We do locations. Our film office helps productions find locations around DeKalb County. We regularly get emails, not only from Lee's office, but from productions directly, seeking a list of different locations, and we use that database to help us find those locations. So we won't know where you are unless you put it in the database. It is free, absolutely free. Like CEO-elect said, go to our website, and we want production to happen here, and we want our residents and business owners to feel that investment and get that return on investment, because it is impacting our economy, and we love it. The other thing I will mention is location managers are our primary clients. They are the ones that fill out the permit applications. They are the ones that are running around the county trying to find the hotels, the restaurants, the supplies, the vendors. They're the ones doing all of that work, and we appreciate working directly with them. I lastly want to acknowledge that our production manager, Ms. Broman Stallcup, is here. She processes and facilitates all of these film permit applications. I appreciate all the hard work that she does. So please get to know her. Also, we have partners like doing film permitting in the county is a huge job. We work with every single county department. We work with every single city. We work with Georgia Power, MARTA, DeKalb School District, City of Decatur School District, and let me mention again, every single city in DeKalb County, all 12 of them, really 13 with Atlanta, really support this industry. They know how big it is for their economy, but also they know how many jobs and investment it brings to their cities. So we love that. We have Fulton Films here, Fulton Film Office. Wave your hands. Awesome. So we work with every single regional partner, Gwinnett, Fulton, Henry, Clayton, all of them are partners. We all work well together and supporting each other. If we don't have what's needed, then we can always send them to a regional partner, because we know that economic impact, it kind of bleeds out to everybody. So we appreciate it. All right.
Hello. Regarding the hotels, it's really interesting how, a lot of the hotels niche up to service film productions, because they need to see a smile every day, or maybe 20 days, 30 days at the front desk. It's a different clientele. And I think a lot of the hotels owners and managers and executives are able to that there's a bidding situation for that, to get the nights for the rooms that you're looking for. And I think obviously we're always trying to be competitive, but I think once you get these crews in and you succeed, the good thing about productions is they're going to come back again and again to that same thing, because that part is not going to fail. And I think that, there's a lot of hotel, again, speaking of hotels, it's working with your CBDs. And I was talking, Amanda's here today with the Georgia Association of Visitors Bureaus, and she's working, and there's just this bubble. This event today is a testament to how everyone is understanding the impact that film can make, entertainment can make on the local economy. And if you engage as a hotel with your local CBD, you have a great partnership, you can come at these location managers as one force, and you can say, hey, we're an entertainment committee. You're not going to train us. We already know what's going on. We're ready to receive. So that would be something that I think that, would help hotels.
Well, let me jump in real quick here. Two things. We're in tourism. We like to feed you. So in the back, if you're having a breakfast, we now have a break out there. We're not going to stop to have a break, but feel free to get up and eat some more. It's kind of a foodie type selection of food. So in the back, you can feel free to get up and get some food. Some people have already seen it. Again, we're in tourism, we got to feed you. We like to eat ourselves. So right now we have 2 microphones. So I've got plenty of questions, but we have 2 microphones. If there's something burning you want to ask right now, feel free to ask it. If not, I can continue on with our edit. Yes?
let me mention something while he's running over there. We also have a newsletter that our office sends out. Just go to our website and sign up for the newsletter to get notices of all these events that are coming up this year, all the training programs that are out there as well, including a location managers training program that we want to duplicate in DeKalb, and of course the signature series that we're going to convince James to do on locations. So, okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Tisha. Thank you all for even being here and putting this event on. My question is, so I'm new to Georgia, I'm from Florida, and I've been working in the non-media sector, started out as a PA, working my way up as a production coordinator and manager. My question to you guys, and probably more specifically to, wait, don't tell me your name, because I wrote it down. Cactus. My question to you is, I know you were saying something about you want to do programs with the youth and everything like that. I specifically myself created a program that I've been trying to get out since I moved here. And it's basically the same thing as giving back to the youth. Like, me personally, film is my passion. I don't really care about money. It's more so about giving back to the youth and just treating them the right way. What would be the best advice as a location manager that wants to do those classes that you would give to me, somebody that's trying to build her way around throughout Georgia? And I stay in DeKalb.
Amazing. Pleasure to meet you. Thank you for being here. To be honest, what you're doing right here today, showing up here, not afraid to speak out, wanting to make those different connections. Just to be very honest with everybody here, I came to my first Georgia entertainment event maybe 2 or 3 months ago. And when an opportunity comes to you, you say yes. You don't say no, you don't shy away. It doesn't matter if you have no idea what you're doing. You say yes, and you figure it out as you go. That's one of the main things about this industry that I love so much, is the opportunities are there in front of you if you want to take it. So keep doing what you're doing. What you're doing sounds amazing and like a lot more than a lot of people are doing. And keep doing it. I'd love to speak with you personally after, obviously. But the opportunities will come. You just have to be ready to take it and not be scared. Just take it face on and take a big jump. We work.
You can also connect with the DeKalb Entertainment Commission. We have a program and events manager. Her name is Monique Shaw. I have tasked her with finding me legitimate, respectful training programs that I know will have an ROI for our residents and business owners. And talk to her about your program. But I'm going to caution you. I like to see a clear proposal with everything that you are going to teach and everything that a student should get out of the program. Because I like to link these programs up. I want our students coming out of school with skills that they can use to get a job when they graduate. I want adults who want to get into this industry to have those skills that they need to get a job in this industry. I am seeking jobs. I am not seeking training that just gives you information.
Hello, panel. My name is Sharita King, and I am a student at Georgia State University, a graduate student there studying global hospitality. And this is my professor here that have helped organize everything that's going on today. So we're very happy to be here. I have a question though about what are you guys, and this is open to anyone, the ratio. You guys see, like, what's the ratio difference between Airbnbs and the hotels in the industry? From like the crew basis, I guess.
From what I see, I would say ratio-wise, 90% hotel, 10% Airbnb. It also depends on the length of the show. Again, a lot of, so let's say movies film for 3 months. The cast isn't coming in until the week before you start filming, if that. So it's a shorter period of time. When I was on The Walking Dead for 2.5 years, we had a lot of the cast get Airbnbs close by because it is just so much longer. You want more of the home aspect. But the majority of movies and TV shows are filmed shorter. Even TV shows, you have actors come and go, every other week, even if it's the main actor, they're not in every scene every day, right? So typically hotels for sure.
Awesome. And I have one more follow-up. On average, like as far as the crew size, how many rooms are they?
So, again, that'll kind of depend on movie or TV show, length of being in the area. My best guess is probably about 20 rooms they would want to have rented on hold there for them. And then typically productions will put another 20, 30, 40 rooms on hold, which again kind of goes back to what we're touching on about just really communicating with your studios that know, the travel coordinators and the location managers that can get everything together is a huge help. So all of us being together is, I'm so happy to be here, and I think this is so beneficial for everyone.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll go,
Hi, I'll be brief. Jay Sawyer, based in DeKalb County. Good to see everybody here. Greg, how are you, buddy? Actually, this question's for you. Could you explain to the people here a little bit more about camera ready in the entire state of Georgia and how easy that might be to access for production?
Sure. About 20 years ago, the Georgia Production Partnership started this movement, and what the goal of that movement was is to give a key point person in every Georgia county so that it could be more like a one-stop shop. We got it going. It was then taken over by the Georgia Film Office, and they completed so that we now have 159 counties represented. In some counties, for instance, Fulton County, there are additional city camera-ready people because of these smaller towns that have popped up along the way and can deal with the local scene better than they can in the by the Fulton County General Film Office. So each county has a point person. Those point people are the first point of contact for films, either independent films coming to town or studio productions coming to town, and they assist the locations manager and other folks that are the lead people in the town to get permitted, to get connections with the police and fire department, to drive them in the right direction in terms of who might be a good location person to work with in that town. And we are the only state in the United States that has this program. It has worked well. Obviously, some counties don't have a film at all during the year, and some counties may have 40 films during the year. So it's a key point that if somebody shows up in your town, and in the towns that are outside the Metro Atlanta area, it's key to have that person because there are they get fewer films at this point. And so having that key person just makes it really easy for the film to get set up, to get offices, to get permitted, to make all those things happy. And what we always want to be is film friendly. We want towns, counties to welcome film production to their particular areas.
I think we have two in the back that is raising their hands.
Hi, thank you. My name is Mila. Nice to meet all of you. So I just moved here from Maryland to work in film. So, you know, what you're saying about hospitality, about like you wanting to make this a place where people can come and contribute and experience film is super true. I'm having a great time so far, and Atlanta has been super nice. But having that said, I am new, so I'm trying to connect to people and, you know, come to these events. And I'm trying to wrap my head around how to meet people, how to get into productions. And, you know, there's cold emails, there's cold calling. But I want to ask you, from your perspective, how do you choose who to work with, who to listen to, and who to collaborate?
One of the most respected sources there where you can find a list of events that will always have industry people in the room to network with, Georgia Entertainment. Go to their website, georgiaentertainment.com, and he goes around the state. He is a businessman that Randy and Jasmine.
She's been to several of our events too, so you're doing the right thing.
You're doing the right thing. Join GPP, this is Georgia Production Partnership. There are organizations on our entertainment commission that you should also get their newsletter, sign up on their website, IC, SAG-AFTRA. I'm on the board with the Women in Film and TV. They do events. Matter of fact, they have a pitch event on Saturday in Trillip. Just go to their website or Trillip's website and sign up for stuff like that. CIFA South, Innovation Digital Media. CIFA South is having their annual conference at Kennesaw State University. It's free. It's today, tomorrow, and Sunday. You will find, if you sign up for our newsletter, we try to post up everything we can that you can go to. Not just the free stuff, but all the stuff where you can just network, put your name out there, and begin to get projects and jobs.
And I would encourage too, you know, to make sure you're active on the appropriate social outlets. You know, for us, it's LinkedIn. We feel like that's where, you know, our primary readership is for us, and Instagram. I mean, you know, we have other social channels, but finding your network to where you're, you know, engaging with and sending messages to and making thoughtful, you know, posts and commentary if appropriate. I think that would help raise your level of attention to the people that are more likely to see the value of your skill set.
I always encourage our young people as well to, you know, those films that you enjoy the most, that really spark that passion in you, begin to follow those people that are in those positions that you want to do. And not just pick the director or the producer, but pick, you know, really look at the credits and find out what those different departments are and what your interests are. Begin to follow those people on LinkedIn. Just message them. A lot of times they will message you back.
And I just add to all of that, that's exactly right. And it's having the right attitude. It's I hate saying I'm a yes woman, but it's feeling willing to take on a challenge and don't say no. Starting out in industry is not going to be pretty. It's going to be long hours. I started out picking up boost food for probably 16 hours a day as a locations assistant. And then after that season, I got moved to assistant location manager and, you know, kept going. So it's to be just very blunt, and in the locations class that I'm going to have, that's one of the first things. It's starting in the industry. Everybody has a different story. It's not going to be pretty. You're probably not going to be a director at first, and you have to be willing to put the work and time in. Like they've all said, you're doing the exact right thing, showing up here, networking with all of these people. I'd be very surprised if you don't have a job soon.
I would also say from the film studio perspective like ours, we don't hire a crew ourselves. We lease our space to third-party productions, but I'm constantly sending resumes that I received from crew members, because they send it to me thinking that I do the hiring, but I don't. But it's actually a smart thing to do because I'm not sure if other studio owners and operators are like me. I hope so. I send everything to the productions as they move in, as they're starting to staff. So I would say send those, cold emails out to, people who run the studios as well, and locations, people, and you'll have really good success with that, I think. Also, another couple great groups, one's called WIFTA, Women in Film and Television, Atlanta. I don't know if that was mentioned, but if I missed it, it's a great group. And then the Atlanta Film Society, the Atlanta Film Festival, there's so many great festivals here, so I just think being involved, volunteering, the connectivity here, I've said it at different events, but the connectivity in Atlanta, in Georgia, is the greatest I've ever seen. I've lived in several cities, worked in the film industry for 25 years, but there's something special about the kind of camaraderie and the professionalism that I've encountered here. It's really great. When someone says they want to have a coffee, they actually call you and set it up. And being in LA for 15 years, that wasn't always the case. So,
Lastly, I'll mention PA programs. Georgia Film Academy has great programs to sign up for. Do we have somebody from the Georgia Film Academy here? Great at Great at So, make sure you meet the gentleman who's trying to hide. Georgia Film Academy has great programs for you to sign up for, training programs, get you internships on studios. We do a discounted scholarship for the PA program put on by Atlanta Film Society and Linda Burns. Linda Burns is actually going to be involved in the locations program that they're doing tomorrow. And a lot of these programs, or training programs, we want to sponsor. We have residents to be able to go and take those programs. That PA program has a history of giving people their first job, which is why I continue to sponsor that scholarship there. But yeah, the Georgia Film Academy does something. WIFTA does programs. They have meetings on a monthly basis. GDP has meetings and networking events on a monthly basis. So those are great connections.
I'm going to step in with Linda Burns with the Georgia PA Academy. She runs the PA Academy, I think, once a month now, and it's all about getting into the industry, what your real day is going to be like. She's a great contact to then get you in.
And all the PA Academy events have been here at Electric Owl for the past years. We love hosting it and hitting new free space. It's a really cool program.
Good morning, everyone. I love this, and it's right in my backyard, less than 10 minutes from my home. I'm a Philadelphia native. I've been casting in Atlanta since 2006. But all of my projects on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon have come to me from LA. How do I really tap into doing my craft here? And I'm a DeKalb resident.
So can I clarify, are you casting for background or lead actors, or both?
I do not do background, but I do have a background database. I cast principal. All of my projects, I have done principal casting, the full cast for the most part, with the exception of extras. I have 3 projects just finishing up on Netflix that will be airing this month and next month.
Amazing. Well, congratulations. My first thought about kind of goes back to wanting to build more of a Georgia base. I think there is still such a stigma in everyone's head, for lack of better words, that if you want good talent, you have to fly them out from LA. I want to look that. If you want good talent, you need to fly them out from Georgia, So I don't really have an answer for you. Maybe somebody else will have a better response, but I think it's kind of just the time and progressing our local communities, with proper training to
get the studios to believe, you know, we've got the best crews, the best actors, the best vendors, the best studios, we've got it all.
I'll say too, just watching this for, you know, since we started in 2016, we're a production incentive state. So, you know, these Netflix and these productions from LA have come here to take advantage of the incentive. But what's happened with that is there's been a dismantling of the power base out there, where Georgia is now, you know, becoming a centerpiece for film and entertainment, music, gaming, fashion, all these areas. And as part of that, you know, we're not just a production state, we're now working, there's Georgia funding, there's Georgia money, there's Georgia story writing. There's several entities now that are investing in providing grants, and there's a filmmaking grant that's just launched down in Columbus for story writers. You have to be based in Columbus to get that $50,000 from your production. There's all sorts of things happening, so it's percolating. And we got lucky, I feel like, with the film credit that has helped build facilities like this, you know, the greenest studio in the world. So we've got that now. Let's move to the next level and make this part of not just Atlanta's industry, but Georgia's industry, where all the Georgians can participate and succeed.
I have one thing to add to that. It sounds like you might be ahead of this curve, but independent filmmaking gives people the opportunity to create content that's local content. And independent filmmaking, in my world, the very first project, I was not a filmmaker all my life. I was a producer, but I was producing commercials and corporate work. And I had the opportunity to do a film in 2016. It seems to be the year that everyone is going. 2016, it was a small film. An intern that I hired 10 years earlier had come back. He says, I've read the script, I have the money, I need a producer. And I said, I'm your guy. And we produced this small $300,000 movie, but most of the movies we've done since then have been the $2.5 to $5 million variety, which still gives you lots of, there's no big studio, there are not 300 people on set, but it gives you the chance to work with the people that are up and coming in the industry and that want to thrive and want to make Georgia a great place to make films and content for the future.
Well, that kind of ties in with one of our questions. How can independent production get to be a larger player?
So some of the programs that are out there now are trying to cultivate local content. Going to our technical college, for us, is training the next generation of content creators. When they come to us, they're pretty much ready to film, or they're students in school and they want to do something. So we work with independent content creators on finding those locations that fit their budget. So for us, it's connected to your local film commission and going in the office and sitting down with someone to go over your vision for your project and then bringing you down to reality that your budget will not get you in a stage like this, but perhaps we can get you in something a little bit smaller, but still fits your budget. And so for local independent filmmakers, please connect with your local film office. Or just, reach out. We will sit down with you, me and Ron, we'll sit down with you and talk about what it means to fill out those film permit applications. Because everywhere you go is going to require that. Please do not disregard filling out a film permit application or finding out whether you need one to film wherever you're going, because you don't want to get shut down. You don't want to get, you don't want to get a bad reputation in a location. We want to be able to help you get your content done, get it out there, get it to film festivals so that you can get your name recognition going. We can give you a list of local film festivals that you should submit your work in. Do your research on stuff like that. There are film festivals all across the state. The biggest is Atlanta Film Festival. Chris Escobar runs that. He's a great friend, a great partner for us. He's also a member of Atlanta Film Society, which does the PA program and a lot of other programs. There is a pitch event this weekend that Wilton is putting on. You're going to have to learn what that means to be able to pitch your project, your film project, whether it's a short film, feature, TV show, whatever, to an actual network. So understanding that and doing your research on that as well. Great event this weekend, but it will probably end up being an annual event. So even if you can't make it this Saturday, you know, you begin to do your research on all those different aspects of creating a product.
So I just want to add a little tidbit from the other side, the crew side, for indies and non-union films. There's very much a stigma of being worried if you are going to get paid. You know, because we're back to viral unions, right? So there are, you know, automatic things that we are entitled to, for lack of better words. Going into an indie film, I know personally many people that got paid late, have not gotten paid, so I just want to put out there to everybody there is this stigma on the crew side of these smaller indie films, which I totally agree should so be supported, and that's kind of where you start and how you grow, and it needs to be supported. But we've also got to take care of our crews. And, you know, if you say you're going to do something, do it. That's all.
Hi, good morning. I'm David Kemp. I'm the lead kid on the block of Explore Brookhaven, Georgia. And I want to thank, yay! Go Brookhaven. I want to thank the DeKalb County so much for hosting this great event and all of our speakers. I strongly believe in partnerships, and I'm into coffee, so looking forward to having coffee with each of you. I was wondering if there was an international aspect of the film industry in Georgia, people coming from overseas and visiting the state.
Real quickly, and then you had Dan is international. He'll tell you about that in a second. But Fulton Films just hosted folks from South Korea. You know, James has a special interest in South Korea. Culture is being created, content creation is there. You know, as someone mentioned earlier, we were just in Cannes, France. You know, waving the Georgia flag there. We'll be in Toronto in September at the Toronto International Film Festival. So, you know, Georgia, our governor and our economic development, they're going to, you know, Korea and all over, bringing other types of jobs too. We're saying, hey, the creative industries is right there with you worldwide, you know, because Georgia is the creative, cultural, and entertainment capital of the world. We're it's manifesting that. It's true. So, but go ahead, Dan.
I was just going to say, you know, I get a bunch of phone calls during the year from some politicians that want to send a group here to Georgia to potentially film, but a lot of it's actually learning about how our industry has grown in such a big way. So they do these tours where they want to see what the studio infrastructure really looks like. They want to understand how the tax incentive works. So we're on the national and international stage because of the tax incentive here. And when people visit, they love coming here. I'm not sure if I've seen as many of those kind of scouts turn into filming here. And I think potentially there's already filming closer to where they live, and sometimes they don't have to work with unions where they are in their country. So even the savings here maybe doesn't drive production as much for them, but there is just a massive interest in how we build what we build here, so they can learn and potentially mimic it. But so obviously that doesn't bring dollars here, but even the interest in us being on the international stage is, you know, it's I think great for us.
For the DeKalb Film Office, we get calls from productions and networks from across seas. We actually have England, a production company in England that's trying to do something soon in DeKalb. So we get those calls and those leads from out of the state, international. Sometimes they come from Lee's office, the Georgia Film Office, or they just call us direct because we are the accommodations in Georgia film. So yeah, they know us. But the other thing I'll mention is there are a lot of international film festivals that are held here by different chambers. The Indo Film Festival, the Georgia Latino Alliance puts on the Georgia Latin Film Festival. Jose Marquez is here. Yeah, and so there are lots of international film festivals. They bring out people from their countries, and they do their own film festival with their local culture, and so that brings a lot of international attention as well to Georgia. So those are always popular annual film festival events to get involved with too.
Well, before we go back to the floor, one of the questions from the floor was, how does a local creative work with the local groups to get more done versus working with the LA or everything?
Local groups such as other filmmakers, or wasn't completely clear with the question, but it was like she's a local creative. Well, let's hear he was trying to tell me the question.
So I'll take it back so you can reiterate the question.
That'd be great. I think I understand it, but I would love to dial it in.
I think y'all answered the question, and it's really about networking. It's about networking because I started here. But by networking, I started Indian projects here. But now that Atlanta and Georgia is growing exponentially, I'd love to work more with productions here that are based here versus LA. Now, don't get me wrong, I like LA money. I ain't sure. But I am a casting director here in Atlanta, and I'm an advocate for the actors here. So that was basically the question, but it's about networking, I think, based on what you guys are saying.
Yeah. I think what Greg had said just about the independent film scene is that there's some great activity here, truly, and you have the opportunity with that, especially with casting, to get the star actor, the lead actors in there, versus obviously from the LA projects, most of the local casting here's day players, and then of course background. But yeah, these scenes, there's so much connectivity. You can find people, and everyone wants to find a way to work with each other.
And it really, I know it sounds unbelievable, but truly, Atlanta is a small town. You never know who you're going to meet. And if you don't put yourself out there and get out of your comfort zone and just talk, just tell people who you are and what your vision is and what you want to do, they probably know someone who can help you. And it's just you moving in that direction and being persistent.
I wanted to say one more thing about, there was a question earlier about how an independent producer can grow their business. I just want to say that what wasn't mentioned was kind of a little obvious, which was, find ways for all that money to go onto the stream, get it all in there with no waste as best you can, and show a history of making money back. If you can show that to people, they might give you a little bit more on the next one of your script reads with a higher budget. We'll have a much easier time convincing people to get you to that larger place. And just always remember, it's pretty much an industry of no's. We all have to say yes, but everyone else, when they're wanting to give you money or greenlight a project, nobody gets fired for saying no. They actually get to keep their jobs. They won't get fired for saying yes and it going poorly. But I will say that I used to work in development for producers Warner Brothers for many, many years, and I worked for the last couple of years. I worked as an executive for George Clooney and his company Smokehouse Pictures, and everyone passed on our stuff every day, nonstop. This was not beginning George Clooney. This is like the height of his powers, and we bring people scripts and projects that we had developed and then packaged with actors. Every studio, every financier said no to us all the time, and I always hold on to that as a lesson for, it's going to be a grind, but when you get that thing made, and every movie, I'm a movie person that is magical to me, whether it's $10,000 or $10 million or $100 million, it's a minor miracle to get one made, and then sell it to someone. It's incredible. Get your money back. Keep grinding it out, and the no's will turn into yeses when you have a history of, some progressive success.
My name is Lola. I'm a student of Georgia State, student of hospitality. I'm in Dr. Smika's class. My questions are three, but we'll prepare them. The first one will go to Dr. Rich. I read one of the books that you wrote when I was going through last night, and I saw you talking about how we can use film tourism to teaching classes and everything. So how do we go about this without increasing the screen time of our children, and also encouraging business among children and everything? My second question would be, now with the popularity of short clip films like apps that are going on, if you go on your phone now, you can easily browse it through Instagram. You can easily get almost everything is sponsored out about short clips. What's the implication of this on our community and even the film industry and studios? And the third one is about the AI, the introduction of AI going about writing stories, creating screenwriting, and doing some scenes that they can perform as. So what is job security for people that are screenwriters, that are storytellers, and other sectors that this might affect? Thank you.
Okay, hello? Can you hear me? Those are great questions, and I'm gonna take the first two, I think, and we'll get to the third one. There's always pros and cons to any technology, and I'm also very concerned with screen time. Research in hospitality and tourism show that destination images are very sticky. That once they get inside your head, it's hard for them to leave, right? So, when we're working with DMOs, I want to make sure that we're sending out the best images possible. We have the tools to do that here. But for a teacher, before anyone's taking a single tourism class, they have lots of assumptions about the world that I have to turn around. And that's why I created my class. I feel like I've done a great job over the years of teaching tourism, but I really want to get into teaching people to be better tourists. Because I want them to have a better intercultural IQ when you go out and interact with people around the world. Try to think, I want my students to think a little bit of putting themselves in someone else's shoes. Before you take a picture, offer some compensation. Just don't run around and take pictures of people. And actually, there's international guidelines for doing that. The classes that in teaching hospitality and tourism, people take this major because they're passionate. I've never had an attendance problem. My students come to class because they love hospitality and tourism. But I have found that we keep finding ways to suck the passion of. I've been to over 50 countries. I can't wait to get on a plane. Well, the plane ride itself is a little hard, but it's worth it when I get out and experience another culture. I can't do that with a class. However, I did find over the years that there are a number of films in which someone takes a trip and they change. And then there are not that many films that do this. Some people take a trip, they're road movies, but some road movies people don't change. And then there's other films where people don't really go anywhere and there's great character development. So, I'm looking for those transformation and enlightenment in film is one of the themes of the class. So, I can't take you there, but I can show you the way that people might change. Might change if they didn't change. And then the second part are films where people go to another country and there's an exchange. Some of them good, some of them bad. They can even learn from the bad ones. So the film classes in the South Carolina Honors College but your question is interesting because there's both good and bad things about these images, and I just want to teach people to be better to understand. Third question?
I can touch on first. And as I'm sure many of you are all aware, there was a very huge strike last year, mostly, honestly, because of AI and our unions needing security in our contracts that you can't just take my voice and record it and use it in any TV show or video that you want without even telling me. I mean, it was almost to that point they were going to pay background, I think, $300 to come scan you, and then I could put you in any show, and I got your likeness for the rest of your life. We were on strike for, it was like 130 days almost last year, maybe more, but I don't want to talk about it. The longest strike ever, people say, because the studios would not give. There were other aspects to it. The AI was a huge component, and it's, even if people want to say it's not there right now this second, it kind of is, and it's not this second, it's going to be in the next 6 months or the next year. So that was a huge fight last year, and in the contractor side, they have, I honestly don't know the exact stipulations that they came to, but it was a very long and hard fight for them to get the protection that they felt they needed.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I don't think that AI is anything to be afraid of. I think that we can embrace it and use it in destination marketing to be more efficient and get the right images out there. The flip side of that is that people that don't have any, that are not stakeholders of DeKalb, or not stakeholders of Georgia, who are producing misrepresentations. So, we need to, there's a litigation, we all have to be, have our attorney just cease and desist if we have to, and then we have to have someone to monitor those images. This is the way we want to be depicted. You need to, ask our permission, but AI just multiplies those issues, unfortunately. And that's just technology. And it's worth it for us to attract visitors to the experience economy as a campus. It's worth it.
I'll add just another little tidbit. So IOTC is the contract supposed to be ratified, solidified July 1st. That it looks like they're waiting on members to submit their votes, but the higher ups have published that it looks like they reached a tentative agreement, which is a huge moment, whatever you want to call it, because if they're good, the Teamsters contract is next. And so as location managers, any locations, we are Teamsters as well. So the Teamster contract is up July 31st. So as soon as IOTC goes through the negotiations, we'll start with Teamsters. And funny enough, AI is something that we're having to fight, mostly for the drivers. Currently, today, California, Los Angeles has approved 16-wheeler trucks to be self-driven without a person. There are 16-wheelers on the highway in LA right now, nobody driving them. And again, is that in Georgia right now? No. But if we don't start putting something to protect us, they'll come sweeping away. Most of our Teamsters are swimming 20-hour days, maybe longer. And now you're saying they can come in for 3 hours to open the trailer. I mean, how many jobs are we talking about putting there? And so
I give props to our union heads, and I'm not even saying the right words, I'm sure, but to everybody that's worked so hard to give, myself and all of our different unions the backing that we need to protect our jobs. Totally agree, there's a place for AI. AI is amazing. As technology grows, it should be used, but it should not take away the creativity from somebody's, mind to hand to screen. There's nothing like that. A computer can write that. It can try to, and it may be okay, but it's not going to have the same.
Even with virtual reality, and maybe we want to maybe give you a taste of what it is to build our destination in virtual reality. But I want to make it clear, it's nothing like coming here. You can't taste the barbecue that I talk about earlier.
Hey, we've got 7 people right now, so we're waiting to ask some questions.
Hi, my name is Simran. I'm an actor and a filmmaker. I'm just about 4 miles from here. I live in watch this facility built from the ground up. So just want to say congrats to Dan and everyone that made this a reality. The question is to Craig. With your wealth of experience as a producer, you open to collaborate with upcoming producers? And if so, what's the proper protocol and procedure to make that happen?
Sure. One of the fortunate things that we've found, mostly with production companies that are coming in from out of town, that don't know Georgia, that don't know the film city, they know about it, but they don't know how to operate in that world, and they don't know the crew base. We've, as Craig Miller Productions, does production and services. So there's above the line, which are the writers and directors and producers. There's below the line, which are the technicians and makeup artists and all the crafts that go along with making movies. So we've found a great niche in helping those above the line people when they come to town, or those local independent filmmakers that are new to Georgia or that are working on one of their first couple of projects, to connect them with all of the people that do great work in town and make sure that they have a positive experience. So I think that's a great niche for other production companies as well. And if we could be of any help to you in your productions, let us know.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Damidi. I am the film producer as well. Started out in acting for a bit. I've been doing IT my entire life. And during the pandemic, I woke up and decided that I want to consider behind this for the rest of my life. And I went into music and started to produce films. I started my own production company called Media Entertainment. And this year, I put out a feature film, 2 hours, 17 minutes long.
Congratulations.
Called to be available. Want to check it out? Google it. My question really is, Thomas Jackson. I have struggled a lot in the film industry, getting funding, figuring out how the pieces come together. And I'd like to know what is Georgia or what is happening for the Philippines. People who are just coming up, upcoming. I've seen presentations and they say a lot of big leagues and big this and big that. But from my experience, when I try to reach out to, well, not in league happening in Atlanta, they don't want to talk to us. And that, to me, that's bad because we have the most creative minds. We haven't got indoctrinated into, how things are supposed to be. And we're limited to our creativity just yet. So what are the things that we are doing in the community to encourage people like me who woke up one morning and decided to come to this industry, doing something else for a long time?
Okay, so the county, our county officials fund everything we do with public funding. They support film office, like CEO like said, we have a lot of support that we get from them as well as our cities. Part of what we do is in our entertainment strategic plan. We have a new 5-year plan that we are going to be taking back to the county to say, these are the things that we plan to do for the next 5 years. Part of that is focusing on workforce development, on marketing and strategic partners, and on promoting what we do in this county to support the industry, not only to our residents, but also to our business owners, really educating people on how production happens, how they operate, but also programs to help local content creators. And so we're going back to the national and going that additional funding in order to do those things. But right now, we're also partnering with some of our strategic partners like the DeKalb Book Festival, which will be coming up in October. So we're going to bring industry people to that to talk about screenwriting, to talk about audio books and voiceover work and all those interesting things that go into creating and moving your book from a book to a movie or film. We're working with great organizations like Kids Video Connections. Thank you, Alicia, for being here, Alicia Johnson. So if your young youth are interested in film production, we want to train them at a young age to really understand how production happens, to be able to do film production. So we sponsor them to do free programs in our libraries. Those are happening. So we sponsor them every year to do at least 10 libraries, free classes for young people to be able to go and do and learn film. And then she does an annual children's film festival with them. We work with our DeKalb School District on an annual student film festival with our CTA and kids. That's a career technology education program where they are electing to take film and digital media classes. So we work with them throughout the year. We bring industry into the classroom to talk to them about editing and writing and acting. And we do an annual film festival every year in March. We had ours this last March at Port Stanford Performing Arts Center. So we want to make sure that we are doing the things that help create the infrastructure for local content creators to get started. We welcome local content creators to come and sit down with us so we can talk about what we do. No, I cannot give you public money. Can't do that. We do not have a film fund like in Savannah or Gomes. We would love to be able to do something like that. That's going to be in the conversation we have with our board of commissioners. How can we create a creative fund that will help local content creators get their projects done? So essentially, we need to be able to sit down with them and talk about what things you feel like you need. Even if it's outside of the money, can it be locations that we give you or help you get into at a discounted rate? Can we introduce you to location managers? Can we get you to hire some of our students who are coming out of Georgia Piedmont Technical College? Talk to Jabbar Thomas back there about hiring their students. They need the experience. They need the internship. They need that, and that will get you, that will work into your budget, right? Because you don't have to pay them. They're getting experience from you. We can connect you to local caterers who need the experience of working with the production, and maybe they can work with you on your budget, that kind of thing.
Hello, my name is Aiden Young. I just want to say beautiful event we have over here, beautiful questions that everyone's been asking. I'm actually fresh out of high school. I'm starting at NYU in the fall, and I wanted to ask a couple questions about, as an actor, how do we use this economic outlet to then get jobs and get in the room?
How do you get an acting job? Say that.
I mean, how do you use the economic and financial background to then get in the room and get jobs as well as?
So it is about networking. In terms of actors and casting, there's a Miss back there. I think you really need to talk to her. If you're interested in acting, she's trying to grow our local infrastructure for local actors. I like to tout some of the training programs that are here to get you to network a little bit more and talk about what you want to do. There is a great training program at Shadowbox. It's called Shadowbox Vagabond Academy. It's about 11 or 12 weeks long. It's for students who are coming out of high school who are in the film pathway, but it's also for college students who are in a film program. That is like the criteria of the requirement. You have to be in a film program. They take you through 12 weeks of training at a studio. They take you through every department until you figure out what the department is really your passion. And then once you finish the program, they try to get you hired and push your step into that studio. That's something that was launched late last year. We want to try to duplicate it with all of our stages in DeKalb because we hear it's a great program. Luckily, the strike is helping to bring privileges back so that there are those job opportunities.
I would second and go to the table behind you because starting with some indie and more mid-level films are a great way, one, to get you real, right? So you have some steps that you can show to get higher roles. Again, also benefiting a producer that may not have as much money, trying to get his name out there. We've got a new principal cast actor that, is here just for a reel. So, like everyone's saying, networking in this industry is everything.
I'll also add that I'm a huge fan of higher education, but the truth is, no one's really going to look at your degree and say, like, oh, we want to act. Like, you just studied acting, so we want them, right? You have to really remember to create your own future and your own success. And that means some short films, making them all the time with filmmakers around you, constantly creating things for yourself. It's amazing how effective that can be as you just start to say, hey, I'm in this short, I'm in this, generate it yourself, work with the people that are around you who are way into what they're doing, just like you are, and it will create some momentum for you, and you'll have things to show people before you even ask someone to cast you something. Cast yourself, in everything.
At the University of South Carolina, one of our popular combinations is a degree from our business school with a minor in hospitality and tourism.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Kane, and I am from Philadelphia originally. And I'm the founder of the Storm Festival. But today I want to speak about the drone soccer league that we had. We have young people who fly quadcopter drone soccer balls, playing the game of drone soccer locally, regionally, nationally, and it is an international game sanctioned by the World Air Sports Federation. And so my captain, we set them up when they're 16 to be able to get a Part 107 drone pilot license. Our captain scored 96, got his license. His first job was getting aerial footage of Christina King Ferris's funeral, and he has done a sizzle reel for Atlanta. So my question is, he's 17. He's only had those 2 major jobs. He's trying to get into the film industry even more. How would I be able to help him? Is he too young to work in the film industry, doing footage for films? And also, anyone who would like to use the drone soccer team as a cameo in film, seeing kids playing drone soccer, feel free to contact me. We would love to be a cameo as well.
So I'll start with, I would never say too young. It's a thing. Again, coming into this industry, 99.9% of people are going to start as a PA, working 16 to 20-hour days, doing not your typical 9-to-5 job stuff. So you almost have to be young to enter the industry. If you're 35, trying to come in and work 18-hour days, making $800 a week, it's really hard to feed your daughter at home, you know? So it makes sense to try to get into the industry as young as possible, because it is connections. And so the camper union, one, is probably the most difficult union to get in, but once you're in, you're working for the rest of your life if you want to. Especially with drone shots now, you pretty much have one drone shot every episode, if not more. I obviously work more in TV, so I don't necessarily know as much about movies, but I'm sure that they do tons of drone shots, at least opening and closing. Drones and actual drone operators are now their own entity. You know, we have our camera operators, and then you bring in a drone operator and their equipment for the day, or however long you need them. So it's a specialty within the camera department. The camera union is very expensive to join. You have to have, I think, 3 people that are within the union write letters for you, recommendation. It's a process, but I will try to make this quick and share. I had an intern from GFA on The Walking Dead that was able to shadow the camera department, and that's what he was really interested in. And the DP took a liking to him. He worked his butt off. He did anything and everything that was needed. By the end of the season, the DP had started a GoFundMe account. He donated $5,000 himself. This kid joined the camera union before the show was over, and his next job was as a union cameraman. So it's, and that's a true story. So it's, you gotta take the opportunity, you gotta work your butt off, you gotta know how to talk to people, and take the opportunity and don't be scared.
I would recommend that he, of course, find out about the union, begin to look those people up who are members of the union in case there's someone who's local that can hopefully mentor him. I would suggest that he look at GFA program. I would suggest that he look at the Shadowbox Background Academy program and focus on the camera department and getting his first PA job there. I would suggest that he take our Atlanta Film Society PA program that helps people get their first PA job. I would also suggest that he begin to network a little bit more with Georgia Entertainment. He could go also to the source book, which is Oz Magazine. It lists camera companies in there. It lists drone companies in there. He needs to find out if they're hiring. Go and connect with those companies. They need to know about him. I'm sure that when they're seeking people to be hired, they don't know where to go either. So it would be in his best interest to seek those companies out if that's what he wants to focus on.
Well, maybe they're not even hiring, even to just go to these companies and network with them. It's, you know, putting a face in front of the other face, and they're not hiring that moment 3 months down the road. Do you remember John that came by and how he was willing to do anything and everything? Find that card, I want to call that kid. So that'll go along.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm Trish Taylor. I've been around for a little while. I started in the industry, and I'm so glad. I wanted to say thank you for bringing this topic here of film and tourism together. I started my career in the Georgia Department of Economic Development in tourism, and for 20 years went to the tourism conference talking about this exact subject, about film and tourism working together as partners. I am the current past president of the Georgia Production Partnership, lifetime with the Atlanta Film Society, and a graduate of the GFA. So I've touched all these places here. My current thing I'm doing now is I'm a producer on 2 feature films right now. My questions are, in regards to mentorships and grant writing. I would like to talk to Shelvia and Dan about possible mentorships for not only the young people, but people who are older, who have transitioned into this industry from other industries, just like this young man here. Mentorships and possibly with studios or through the DeKalb area. And then the next question would be grant writing.
are there possibilities, and how does that happen?
I'll just say real quick about mentorship. That's really very much baked into what we do here. It's in our DNA. Growing up loving film, I didn't actually have anyone really around to give me any advice or an ear to listen to me. So it's really important. We do a really robust internship program here with college juniors and seniors. We also like to work with groups like Reimagine and Fresh Films for high school students who are interested. But yeah, I agree. Mentorship, no matter the age. I mean, it's important to be able to, in 25 years in this industry so far, I'm sure Craig's got me a little bit beat there, but just a touch. But you collect a lot of information, and some of it's hard-won, and some of it's just time. But I love sharing it, and I think it's an important thing to do to kind of help elevate everyone around you. It's beneficial to everyone. So it's something that I love to do, and talk about that anytime.
So a mentorship program, an apprenticeship program, and an internship program are things that I have to ask our program and events manager to get started for us. So we do have some of them that we're working on, like the Reimagine, they have an apprenticeship program. We just need to set up a sponsorship for the cameras to take advantage of it. We have SAG-AFTRA and IOC on our commission, and they are interested in creating an internship, mentorship program. They do it in DC, we want them to do it here in DeKalb. And it's a matter of us trying to create what that looks like and try to manage something like that. But yeah, we know that that's a big ask, and it will be helpful, especially for our student creators who are creating these projects. We have judges for the student film festival, but being able to set them up, mentor, continue to support them in growing in the industry.
I'll talk a little bit about grants and contracts. Is that I think we continue to talk about film in terms of feature film. Tourism is a catalyst for real estate, biotechnology, energy, other forms of economic development. They don't know this, but they need your filmmaking skills for documentary, for promotional works, for training. So we need to, if you want to make films, there's a lot that you have a set of skills that you can write a grant for. In healthcare, in retirement, I like the relationship to retirement tourism. So, look for grant writing opportunities in related fields that need your filmmaking skills.
Plus, there are organizations like Film Impact Georgia. If you go to their website, there are resources on there for independent creators, including information on funding and how to do grant writing for your projects. But yeah, it's organizations like that that we want to partner with to actually do a program, like a beginner, intermediate, advanced type program to teach you how to do, how to get that funding for your projects, right? And then Saturday, I think I mentioned with it is having a pitch event. Part of that includes information on funding, perfecting your pitch, and that.
Thank you to the panel. My name is Carlo Valero. I'm an independent producer just moved here from New York. I'd love to hear from the panel what they think of the Sundance Atlanta campaign. I just saw on Georgia Entertainment the website that was put together. I'd love to hear how everyone thinks is hypothetical, but how this will impact Georgia.
So we've been watching this situation for a while. We were actually at Sundance this year. We had a couple, we had a big event in January, and someone there went on the podcast early on and said they were thinking about moving, and the billionaires over there were fighting in Park City. And so there's various things happening there, but it was great that of the 90 cities that submitted bids to try to land Sundance, 3 of the 15 were from Georgia, so that was a big credit to where we're at as a state. If you're old like me and you're in contention for the largest independent film festival in the world to come to Georgia. That's huge. I love what Atlanta did, and if you guys haven't had a chance, they created a website for their pitch, and I imagine we will eventually see Savannah's pitch and Atlanta's pitch. Whether they win it or not, the fact that they all got together and put together what their creative structure was like and the venues were like, and the attention that it got for the economic impact from the governor all the way down to your county commissioners that were involved in this is massive. Massive progress for a lot of people in this room that are in the CBB industry, county government, city government. There's various opinions about who will get it. I mean, I have, or what will happen with that, but, it's interesting. It'll be an interesting thing. See, I think we've already won, in the fact that we've won by doing the work and being out there, and if it doesn't leave Salt Lake City or Park City, then I think it's still a good victory for Georgia to be included.
Great privilege to be part of the selection, to be able to be one of the places for Sundance is a big deal. And we have all the assets, all the organizations that come together. We already have for supporting the tax credit. It would be a great accomplishment.
Well, I want to say thank you all for having such great questions. Thank you all for being here. We're going to wrap up with one more question, and I'm going to put the panel on the spot saying if there are any questions, please email us at the Convention Visitor Bureau, and then we will funnel them out, and the appropriate person can answer them. So we have the last question, and then we'll close out. We don't want to keep you any longer, but we appreciate you all being here.
Good afternoon for panelists and the audience. Myself, Mohammed Mustafa, student of the State University, Masters of Global Hospitality. Thanks, Mr. James, to invite us to learn so many things. My specific question to Dr. Rich, I'm fortunate to read his recent paper, Travel Transformations and Life in the Critical Review. It's really wonderful articles about this tourism integrated in the educations. But my question is now, how can we practically integrate it into tourism education curriculum? At the same time, are there any specific strategy for the educators or any activities for the educators in the classroom?
First part of the
question was, how things can be practically integrated into tourism education curriculum? How integrated this film, in your education curriculum?
How do you integrate film in the curriculum?
Well, I think most of my students are visual learners. I mean, we're concerned about screen time, and there's so many, the upside is even better. But we can't just have students and watch the film because we don't want to lecture. There has to be very specific learning outcomes. We're going to watch this film because it demonstrates this. I was a little scared of proposing this course to the Honors College, Travel and Tourism and Film and Literature, because I went to the Honors College and said, I got a great idea. And they said, what is it? It's showing film, but there's a problem. I said, what is it? All of these are rated R. So, there are some things that are upsetting that we can see, and you have to prepare the students for what they're going to see as well. But I'm convinced that what I call the streaming generations, they are visual learners. They don't want to hear me lecture. I have an hour and 15-minute class. I used to sit through those. I give them a break in the middle. We have to have it. Because we absorb information in shorter increments. So we have to give this, that means we're multimedia. We talk, we show film, we do hands-on things, we talk as a group, but you have to give them a mix of experience in visual, film, music video, all of, we have the great music videos. How do you think we'll talk about them? Is there a cultural appropriation in this video that's inappropriate? You know, for all those things to help them prepare for life, that they're going to encounter practical things, things that are delicate subjects in film first. Let's talk about this, ethics for oral questions in film. But these have been wonderful questions.
Well, I know we had better questions, but unfortunately, like I said a few minutes ago, we're not going to be able to get to them. Please email them to Siri, and we will send them out to the panel. And they've agreed to respond to the question based on who is appropriate. Phase 2, I want to say thank you to Dan for having us.
Really special day for us here. We want to thank DeKalb for putting this wonderful event together. And thank you so much for coming out, everyone. It's really cool you're here, Electric Gal. I'm glad you got to spend some time here with us. And I actually had to run to my office right in a second, so I apologize. But love you all. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. Send us your questions. We'll be emailing it out. And I'm going to take 1 second plug for my wonderful team. They've been working for weeks. But the Dorcas was here all day yesterday, late night, early this morning. The team has been here since like 7:30 this morning, just today. So they've done a phenomenal job. Thank you all for being here. Watch for their next signature series. Have a great day.